evening, Riveters. Welcome to a very special edition of Rivet's non-remote, but remote Flash. I'm your host, Tritus. With me is Red, and the rest of the Rivet City crew are in the Rivet City room. We are at Anime Detour this year. We're down in the Doubletree in Bloomington, Minnesota, having a great old time at con. It's Friday night. It's what, 8:30?
Something like that.
Something like that. Tell me about your con experience so far. Yeah, so far, right?
Well, honestly, I haven't gotten to experience a lot of the cons, right? As I've been wandering around, getting stuff, coordinating things, moving stuff around, greeting people as they come to the room party. We're at room 227. You should see some of our flyers on the way in if you guys are coming in tonight. But yeah, we got a great view of the con floor. Fallout Shelter's here with the mech simulators?
Yep, that's right. So Fallout Shelter is a local company out of Minneapolis, and they have what are called battle pods. What they are is that you are jumping into what is essentially an airplane seat, right? And you are piloting a mech. That's right, you heard it. You are piloting a mech. You get to take a mech, and you get to blow up your friends in a virtual mech world. A lot of fun. I had a little bit of fun with it last night. Me and Dai played. He crushed me. That's okay, I'll get him back.
Yes.
But plenty of opportunities to play that more this weekend. If you're down at Detour, come check it out. A lot of fun.
The Artist Alley and Dealer's Room is packed. We walked by it on the way to get to our badges. I think we're going to be touring that tomorrow, probably.
Absolutely.
And Level Up Games are sponsoring us. So
yes, they are.
Pretty great.
They gave us these really sick flyers, 15% off anything at their store. So come on down 227. We're handing these guys out. We're also handing out these pretty sick pins. And check those guys out right there. Yeah, I'll hold them a little further back. But yeah, get some pins, get a pin, get a flyer, a lot of fun. So let's jump into the Flash. What do we have this week, Red?
Well, should we start with Wichita, Kansas?
Yes, let's start with Wichita, Kansas. Tell me all about that.
Well, it's not actually Wichita, Kansas. It's a small farm outside of Wichita, Kansas, very near the geographic center of North America.
Yeah.
Or no, continental U.S. The difference, right? Doesn't include Canada and Mexico.
Correct.
Anyway, why is that significant, Travis?
Wichita, Kansas is one of the largest cities in Kansas, number one.
That's not significant at all. It was a rhetorical question. That is significant because sometimes when you make location-based software, you don't actually have a location, you still kind of have to pick one.
Yes.
And so some genius, lazy developer for IP geolocation software decided, I know, we'll pick the closest address to the geographical center of the United States if we have something we know is in the US, but we don't know exactly where. Ask me why that's important.
Red, I gotta know. Why is that important?
That's important because if I'm some asshole looking to track someone down on the internet and I have their IP address and I'm like, I know, I got him, and that IP doesn't have a good geolocation on it, it's going to land there. So say the person you're trying to track down is your stalker or a spammer, or any other number of horrid people you might meet on the internet, and you decide to take revenge on that address, you're going to land at some 84-year-old lady's farm who may not even actually have the internet. Yeah. So I posted an article about that on Facebook earlier this week. Let's get it morph into a blog post, but suffice to say, I'm pretty disappointed. Even the police, who have much better tools at their disposal to track down IP addresses, have raided the house for various reasons. Some of them being people threatening suicide, some of them being criminals conducting things. And yeah, something I'm pretty irked about.
This specific house?
This specific house.
Wow.
Over the last 15 years, this family farm has been brutalized by angry internet folks, and it's been completely unjustified.
Wow. Can you imagine that?
I can, and that's why I'm mad.
Right. right. It's us being in our background. Like that makes sense. But like, do you imagine just living on your farm, hanging out as you do, doing your thing, and farming, and then all of a sudden some jackass comes barreling down the road because you slighted him online, right?
Yeah.
For
eggs your house, leaves threatening notes, left a toilet in the middle of your driveway is some kind of threat. I'm not sure what kind of threat that is, but apparently someone felt it important enough to drop a toilet in the middle of the driveway.
Maybe they just really had to have to poop and just forgot to,
Is that just a way of saying you're full of shit, here's your toilet? I don't
yes.
know.
I mean, it's pretty drastic, but, as you do, I guess. I don't know about you guys. I pooped in random toilets on the street. No, I haven't.
It's gotten as far as the local county sheriff actually intercepts federal agencies going there too, because the feds have the same problem. They're putting such minimal effort into tracking people down that they end up there too.
That is insane.
And so the local sheriff is like, no, these aren't the people, not the things.
You think they have like a sign up by now that says we didn't do it?
I would assume so. I would if I were them.
Yeah, no kidding, right?
And they're not alone. Several other IP mapping services have different default locations. And then some people that live near massive data centers have the same problem. Because then the problem is not that the IP location data isn't accurate, it's that nobody figures out these obscure looking buildings as a data center full of servers, some of which could be compromised doing who knows what, right? So say you live on a cul-de-sac half a mile from it, you're the nearest address, it must be you.
Yeah, obviously.
It's ridiculous.
Meanwhile, I'm just trying to cut some hay, and all of a sudden, some jackass hits my tractor with a carton of eggs.
Anyway, what do you got for the flash?
Yes, flashing things. So, there is a website out there. You may have heard of it, you may not have. It's called Collect. And what they're doing, that was a puppy that just did that. We have a puppy.
Yeah, we have a puppy in our room park.
Yeah.
227. 227. Tree in we did the 901. Bloomington. Double Tree Bloomington. Yeah.
So there is a website out there called Collect. C-L-E-C-T. What it is a online marketplace for and by nerds. So you're looking at if you have a collection of nerd memorabilia and those kind of things. Remember, we're back. The SD card fell down.
Yeah.
First world problems. So anyway, Collect. Collect is what I'm talking about. Now it sounds like collect, which that's the idea. So it's basically any nerd memorabilia you collect. I mean, things such as miniatures, cards,
comic books,
whatever you're into. So check it out. I know this site is just still spinning up. There's a lot of things that are still going in, a lot of investment, all that kind of stuff. But it's looking to shape up to be something really cool for nerds, by nerds, sort of thing. Check it out. CLECT.com.
CLECT.com?
I'm going to check it out. I did check it out, in fact, but I'm going to check it out tomorrow.
You're using it for the flash.
I did. Yeah, I have no idea what this thing is. I'm just going to spend it. Well,
you've done worse.
I have done worse. Anyway, so that's the point. Didact, who just popped in for a second.
What up?
So check out what Didact is wearing.
I got myself a scatter.
What would you say our collective power level is?
You got like combined, or do you feel like individually?
Combined.
Like 8.
So I'm like 7 with that 8, right?
Yes.
I've had a bunch of
Good job. Doing the Lord's work.
Better than the average human on DBZ. So, yeah, that's what we have.
Yeah.
We're gonna have.
Well, I have another.
You do have another.
Yeah, I was gonna trade. I didn't
Well, let's just go ahead and keep going. I didn't know. I like more.
Have you ever used the Pirate Bay?
I have not allegedly used the Pirate Bay.
Right, and neither have I. I've never used file sharing ever for anything.
Rivet does not condone the use of the Pirate Bay.
Well,
we do not condone the use of the Pirate Bay.
But we know what the Pirate Bay is. Yes. Not that we've ever used it.
Right.
But it's a torrent website, notorious for giving people free access to all sorts of stuff you should be paying for. Everything from video games to pornography. It's all there.
It is.
more altruistic. Pirate Bay for Science.
Oh, science.
Now, I knew this, but I didn't realize that I know this. You have to pay money to access scientific journals, right?
Really? Well, okay. From specific websites or like some...
In general. I mean, there are several different publishers, obviously, but
Sure.
you and I are researchers at, say, a college, even a high-end college, like, say, Harvard, and we have a breakthrough, something brilliant.
Yes.
Something we can bolt onto the Higgs boson, whatever, right?
Oh.
We come up with that. In order to get real credit for it in the scientific community, in order to be recognized, in order to have our work even really broadcast to the world, we have to have it published in a accredited scientific journal. So we pay money out of our budget that we probably have to fight tooth and nail for.
Right. To get it accredited.
To get it published in that journal. And then once it gets published in that journal, part of that process is we sign over the intellectual property. So potentially 2 decades of research or something into it.
And you don't even get to own it.
We pay them to take the intellectual property from us and publish it. It's still got our names on it, but it ain't ours.
There's a lesson in self-publishing in here somewhere.
Yeah. So then, say we have students. They come to learn from us because we're brilliant. We are brilliant. And those students need to look at our old research.
They have to pay for it.
The school has to pay, or they have to pay.
They have to pay the school, but I mean, it's...
And those prices over the years have just kept going up and up and up and up. Or even colleges as reputed, that's a good word, right?
Reputed or, yeah.
As reputed as Harvard are just starting to cut back the budgets on that. They're saying we're not going to pay to get through these paywalls. Sometimes it's $30 a paper, single paper. And you might not even need the entirety of that paper, right?
That is insane.
So, and this is a global thing too, it's not just in the US here. We're talking third world universities, other developed countries and their universities, any independent scientist that needs the raw data, some guy in his basement, some stay-at-home mom, part-time scientist, some high school kid with a brilliant idea. All those people got to fork over cash to get access to that research data. There's a woman, her name is Alexandra, just the last name again.
I can't remember off the top of my head.
We'll grab my phone and get it because it's important to credit these people where credit is due.
It's like,
Alexandra.
Albanka, I believe is how it is.
Yeah, it's
E-L-B-N-K-Y-A.
It's very Eastern European. We will have it in the, we'll have it in the show notes. Her name is Alexandra. She lives in Kurdistan. And she made Sci-Hub. They're calling it the Pirate Bay for Science, but it's far more advanced than that. It is truly brilliant software. It allows people at universities who will fork over the cash to get access to these paywalled websites to get scientific papers to share their passwords, like you share your roommate's Netflix account. And that site goes in and automatically downloads every single paper that they have. In a matter of months, this software has made almost all of recent scientific work paywalled off by these companies available for free.
It's amazing.
And it's solving a huge problem for people in the scientific community. Because what they have been doing, there's all sorts of community forums out there where they're trading papers. Like, oh, our funder, whoever they were, gave us enough money to get these 5 papers. So I'll trade you these 5 papers because you have access to those 3. Or I have a password, I'll download this for you. There's hashtags on Twitter for this shit.
Which, isn't a bad thing, but it shouldn't have to be that way, right?
Yeah, and the battle here is over free and open access to knowledge. I mean, this is so much better than getting bootleg movies or getting entire discographies from artists who don't want to pay for their 30 albums.
Right. I mean, you could be having like the next Elon Musk, right?
Yeah.
You could just be perusing these papers and doesn't want to grab them because they cost a ridiculous amount of money.
You can't even peruse them without money.
Right.
It's so funny that you think that you could do that.
Yeah, I apologize.
there's someone out there potentially uninspired because they don't have access to this information.
Right, because they don't get a chance to even be exposed to it.
Yeah.
Right? Nuts.
So, for me, that's a victory for the free and open information community. She's of course facing legal challenges from the United States, but she's in former Soviet Republic will be in the show notes.
Yes.
Kazakhstan.
Okay.
Not Kyrgyzstan. Kazakhstan.
Yes. Show notes.
Show notes. Yes. And well, that's all. That was my last thing.
I'm good with that. That's good. No, that's really that opens up a lot of thoughts because I'm right now in the last couple of years, especially, I've spent a lot of time digging into just all sorts of information, anything I can get my hands on. I mean, I was always a learner, but like I've kicked it, like I've 10x'd it.
That's just what the teachers told his parents at conferences.
What?
Nothing.
Okay. All right. So, but yeah, and then to even just think about it, like all the knowledge I could have access to, but don't because of something, because basically greed, what it comes down to, right? And then, you know, that could open up a 20-minute discussion, but then you think about intellectual property, how screwed up that entire system is. I have to pay you to get, and then to get it published, and then you take my intellectual property.
Yeah.
That's insane.
You're not even selling it to me. You're paying me to take it from you.
Yeah, and then and potentially give it to other people, and then I won't even profit from it. And the idea is, of course, you want to disseminate the knowledge into the world, right? But
if no one can afford to access it, it doesn't get disseminated.
Right. I mean,
and then when it can be accessed, it's accessed by only the very rich and powerful.
Right.
You know, average Joe citizen doesn't have the money to get it.
Yeah, I mean, even then they'd be able to get maybe one paper, and then they can't put a lot of those things in context, right? One paper doesn't help. Sometimes you have to formulate a full idea. You need multiple, right? It's crazy. Anyway, so that's what we have for this evening. If you enjoy this, please give us a like and subscribe. Otherwise, more importantly, right now, come on down to room 227 at Enemy Detour. Join these fine fellows behind us. And yeah, hopefully we'll see you soon. We'll be posting this in a little bit here. I'm actually just going to give you a really quick tour. Maybe not so much of the room, we're going to do that maybe tomorrow night, but I'm going to give you a quick little overview of the balcony, what we can see from here. Check this out. That, my friends, is Anime Detour from our balcony. As you can see, a lot of fine fellows in costumes and those battle pods we were talking about. Anyway, room 227. Have a good night.